nominated as the first commanding officer of the Normandie. I arrived in Lorient 3 weeks ago with 75 crew members, and at this stage we follow the end of the construction, and we will conduct the training, the trials at sea from February to July, and then we will join Brest, a bit north from here, in order to enter in an operational cycle. I was asked to give you my feedback of Frem destroyer. Not very easy to do it on the base of Normandy, as you imagine. Moreover, the French Navy has already 5 Frem which are in service in the Navy. 3 based in Toulon and 2 in Brest. Moreover, I have been the current officer in the Maritime Operations Center during 2 years, 1 year ago, and during that assignment I was in charge of giving orders to airplane, submarine and surface ships in the Atlantic. At that time we had the Aquitaine and the Provence which were in service, and during some training, but also operation in the Atlantic. What I could say about Frem, it's that for me it has given the French Navy 2 main strategic changes. The first one regarding the conception of the crew. We have an optimized crew. I would like to illustrate this fact by giving you a little storytelling. This is my 3rd time in command. The first time was a patrol boat 10 years ago, 1,300 tons, based in Toulon, 85 crew members. 5 years later, a frigate based in La Réunion in the Indian Ocean with an helicopter, 3,000 tons, the double, and almost the same crew. And now I doubled the tonnage. I multiplied the devices, the equipment, the weapons. I have everything here, and the crew will not be so, doesn't rise in the same level as you see. How is this possible?
So a rapid promotion, I see.
There is 5 years between each ship. Okay, but how is it possible? This is possible thanks to automation. There is a great integration in the field of platform, as well in the field of operation, which is given by the industrials here, and that allow this reduction of crew. So this is the main strategic change. It necessitates also, it requires also to transform the people and to have on the pier some school or stages to prepare the personnel, because it's a lot difficult to have them train and be transformed on the ship. All the ones who are on the ship must be plug and play and ready to be autonomous in their job. So it requires some formation on the pier, a bit more than what we could do before. The second major strategic change is the versatility. Do you all know this equipment? Multifunction tool? Yeah, this is great, but yeah, I know, it's just for the demonstration. I asked to the chef de chantier. This, for the multi-mission destroyer, has added tools compared to our former ships. The first tool that I have added is the French Tomahawk, the MDCN, Missile de Croisière Navale, which is a long-range land-ground capacity missile. Each Frem destroyer has it. The second tool which is added is a real Special Operation Forces support. On this ship, I will be able to embark 2 Special Operation Forces ribs of 6 tons. Like this one. Yeah. I can also have the NH-90, which has a great version in terms of interoperability with soft teams. So what I could just say, the limit of the comparison with such a tool is that when you have this tool, you all know that it's quite useful to have it in your pocket, but sometimes it's less efficient than one tool taking apart. I mean, it's better to have a real saw rather than the saw of a multifunction tool. But I want to say that that was the limit of my comparison, because for frame destroyer, the challenge that has been done was to have a multi-purpose ship, multi-mission. It's not a multi-option. I mean, it's a very sharp ship in each field of the combat for which it is designed. In anti-air, anti-surface, anti-submarine, soft team support, anti-terrorist asymmetric threat. Okay? I would just like to give you a bit of storytelling of an officer. It's my anti-submarine warfare officer. He has spent 1 year aboard Auvergne, based in Toulon, in operation. He was a principal warfare officer in the CIC, and he will just give you some little storytelling about the fact that when he's on board this ship, all the scales, all the ranges, all the conception he had of operation on former ships just changed.
Thank you, sir. Hello everyone, I'm Lieutenant Gauthier, and as the commanding officer said, I was last year assigned on board the French frame Auvergne, and as an ISW deputy officer, and I'm now ISW chief officer on board Normandy, so I'm really proud of it. First of all, I will say something about anti-submarine warfare, of course, because that's my field of knowledge. When you talk about anti-submarine warfare capabilities on military ships, there is two major concerns. The first one is to have a ship as silent as possible in order to not to be detected by enemy submarines. And the second one is to have the longest range possible with your sonars equipments. When I learned my job as an anti-submarine warfare officer on the former ships, Georgia Lake class, it was on the Duplex, decommissioned in 2014. I learned my job with the old generation sonars, and last year with the new generation sonar, I can really assure you that we take a huge step. For the first point, for us to have a silent ship, frame class ships are really silent due to technical choices such as electric propulsion or fixed wing blades, propellers, sorry. And for detection ranges, frame destroyers are fitted with new Thales sonars, the bow mounted sonar, and also the variable depth sonars. And with these sonars we have really huge detection ranges on submarines, and with these equipments and the fact that the ship is really silent, we can fulfill all our different missions. And in anti-submarine warfare, our main missions are, first of all, to escort French SSBNs for the departure and arrivals. Second mission is to deter and detect any foreign submarine in vicinity of the French coast. And it happens, we're able to do it, I can assure you. And the third mission is to escort a high-value unit, you know, like an aircraft carrier or a tanker, in a French or Ally or NATO task force. I can illustrate these changes by saying that when I was on the Duplex, with the former destroyer, we had some rules during our national anti-submarine warfare exercise. But now with the frame class, we had to change these rules to let the submariners to have a chance to win. Because with the new ships, they have no chance if we use the old rules. So we have to use bigger areas and let them more time to achieve their goals in order to let them a chance. That's all for anti-submarine warfare. I will say just a little thing about above surface warfare. This is a screenshot of the combat management system taken earlier this year on my ship and my former ship, sorry. And it was an exercise national between the Corsica and Sardinia. And you can see that with our Heracles multifunction radar, all air assets in a 250 kilometer range are detected and classified. So as the commanding officer says, each mission is, the ship is efficient and sharp in all the different missions that we have to fulfill. That's all for me.
Okay,
Thank
so to conclude, I imagine that you all wonder why we are 75 sailors, Navy guys here in the shipyard, as far as the first trials at sea will occur only in February. You need to know that we take part of the shipyard. There is a real improvement process, dialogue between the industrials and the naval crew member. We're not 109, but we're 76. I have all the different specialties represented, and there is a real dialogue that allows a feedback. Thanks to this feedback, in the series of frame, you have some evolution in order to improve the efficiency of the ship at sea. And all this dialogue is also a great value for the following series, for FTE, for example. So if the Navy is quite proud of what FREM can do, I could also say as a French civilian that I'm quite proud to see what the industry is capable to do. And today, for me, I'm not used to discuss and see a lot of industrials, but since 2 weeks, I discovered people from MBDA, from Naval Group, from Safran, from all over, that explain me why they do this. And they ask me also what is my feedback about how I use those things on other ships. And so I think it's a great improvement process that that explains why we're here so early.
So
thank you.
What are the